right, this will be the long-awaited, sorry about that, yellow medal, bronze medal, gold medal, weathered, space medal tutorial. I had a couple of false starts with it, but here we go. So at the moment it's primed black, pretty light coat of primer, doesn't need to be too thick. This is going to be our base coat, game colour, tinny tin, which is awesome. Basically warp block bronze will work as well. Then we're going to apply that with this makeup brush that I've cut the ends off because it's quick, it's easy, works. Then once it's dry, we are going to do a light wash with this lilac oxide. This is probably one of my favourite Citadel colours. I absolutely love this. It just makes gold medal look awesome. Once that's dry, we're then going to hit the top of it with some of this stuff. You've seen me use this before, and the one that we're going to use is copper. And we're going to do the extreme highlights with, you can use either titanium or light gunmetal, but just, you know, just the very top of it. Either of those colors work, that looks cool. Then in the recesses, we are going to use some burnt blue and then some burnt red, which will make it sort of go a bit green, and that'll give you that that sort of interesting color shift that you want. And in those recesses, we will use this. This is a mighty $1, probably less, very shitty brush that's had a pretty hard life, but I use it for everything. Yeah, let's go. All right. There you go. And I'm just going to do it like this. Not too difficult, hey? All right, you don't need to see the rest of that. I'll be back when it's dry. Okay, the base has dried, the tinny tin or the warp block bronze or whatever you want to use. I'm now going to use some lilac oxide on my shitty brush, and you just, in the deepest, I always start with the deepest parts. This is the deepest part at the bottom here, and in the eyes, a bit around here. That's just pure lilac oxide, and then a bit of water on the brush, and go all around into the rest of it. A little bit more water, so it just dilutes it a little bit, because you want a bit of variation. And this is like an all over shade. Let's pick up a little bit more here and chuck a little bit there. And you're just aiming to pick out the details. Can we see that okay, guys and girls? I'm not sure, sorry. Yeah, you can see what's happening there. Anyway, so that's going to dry now. That's how you do something like that, which is very detailed. I'll show you something a bit simpler. So this is the side of the carapace on the Titan. Let's have a look, and we go with the same idea really. So if you've got, say, just a couple of bolts that you want to hit, that's just neat lilac oxide there. A little bit more neat lilac oxide. Chuck a bit of water on the brush, quite a bit of water on the brush, and then just run it down there like that. And you see that'll dilute it to the point where there's still just a nice hint of the color under here. You don't want streaks there, because in real life, this is more like it gives it more like a speckledy appearance in real life, that weathered sort of copper. There's a lot of weathered copper bronze. I think if you type in bronze armor or old bronze armor into Google Images, there's some really great pictures of old, I guess it's Spartan. It looks like it's sort of Spartan chess pieces that they've found in various places around the world, I imagine mostly Greece. And the British Museum, because they stole quite a lot of that too. But yeah, there's some great stuff on Google Images. There we go. We're just going to get rid of the bulk of that color, and you can see there it's going to be like that. The next stage will be to add the powder. You could also use Sycorax Bronze is the name of the GW colour that I really like. That's probably, I think, in my humble opinion, their best metallic colour, and probably the only one I use. So let's just dilute that a little bit. And these bits in between, see where it's sort of tinted, that coppery sort of, that patina, what do you call that? Verdigris, sorry. That verdigris colour, we can knock that back a bit. But you just don't want it as a streak. You want it as like dots like that. It's sort of speckled. Okay, cool. See you in the next one. Righto, time to get the weather powder out. To me, a weathering master. Doesn't say what this actually is. It's like makeup. Looks, if it's got the same sort of consistency as makeup. Yeah, let's assume that's what it is. I'd be interested to know, actually. I wonder if you could just go and get some cheap makeup from like a cheap shop and get some, just see if it works. Like a metallic makeup. If anyone does that, let me know. Let me know how you go. All right, so we're just going to chuck a bit of that. I'll show you how we do that. We just get a bit of that onto our shitty brush. That's a technical name. Bit of it onto the shitty brush. And just gently, just a little happy bit of metal there. You can see we've got a little bit of polished metal. And then just do it like you're dry brushing. Pick up the tops of it all there like that. So this is for a more detailed section, just like you'd normally dry brush something. So you've done that before, I imagine, unless you're just starting out, in which case, yeah, it's the same as that. So we're just going to go like that. Now, at the end of this, it will still be sort of, you put your finger on it and you can sort of see, well, that's not from that, that's from paint before, but there's sort of a couple of specks of the pigment on your finger. What I'll do now at the end of this, like when it's all done, I will give it a couple of coats of the matte varnish. It won't actually, for some reason, when you put the matte varnish on this stuff, it is still metallic. It still works. So yeah. All right. So now we are going to use, again, this is the weathering powder. This is called burnt blue. And we're going to put a bit of burnt blue into the recesses. So I'm just going to go like this in there. And this is just adds a, I don't know, it adds a bit of interesting colour, like it's tarnished. Don't go too overboard with this blue. Don't put it everywhere because it looks a bit weird, and it really stands out best with contrast. So and not by that I don't mean the paint, I mean the contrast as in, we'll use it to counterbalance the warmth in this coppery metallic. The cool blue works really nicely with that. So what you can do to tone it down, you can then use this burnt red into it. So you chuck a bit of the burnt red on there. No need to be too precious about this stuff. And then just, if you jam that in there, I'm not sure if you can notice the difference, but it goes a more greeny colour. And what I'll do is I'll put my orange in more at the top, less at the bottom, and it'll go a more greeny sort of colour. So I really wish I could highlight it better, but yeah, so that's that. What you will see it better on is a flat piece of surface. So let's get a flat surface and we can show you a flatter surface. So let's say we want to do this here. So we'll do, sorry, pardon me. Let's get that there. That's probably, let's see how you guys can see that a bit better. It's probably pretty good. Okay, so chuck a bit of my yellow colour, my copper colour I think it's called from memory, and we just chuck that in there. And I'm staying away from the edges of that rivet where I've got the nice verdigris colour, the nailac oxide in there. And I'm just adding it, between. So it's like, it gives you, I think, that nice worn, you can see it's shiny and it looks worn, and it looks super metallic. I really like this stuff. It's so good. Might not be for you, but you know, you probably wouldn't be watching this video if it's not. So I don't know, maybe you like swear words, who knows. So you can see, again, it's hard to pick it up with the light. So let's have a look. So I've just put it in the gaps between the rivets, and it highlights that that's a flat surface and perhaps where the rivet's gone in over time. And these things are millennia old, remember? These God machines are millennia old. You know, the surface has changed. It's still intact. It's still decorative and, you know, beautiful, but it's not factory fresh, which is what we want. That's what we're going for. Okay, let's do some blue. So a bit of our blue here, back to here. Let me pick some of that up, and we go just a bit of the blue around there maybe. Now nothing on models is ever permanent. You can always change it, so I quite like that. Maybe I'll add a bit here. And it's all about having some nice color variation. So if you've got lots of interesting colors in your metal, it'll look, that's what old space gold looks like in my head anyway. Let's add some more blue to, why don't we say, so this is going to be sitting underneath the carapace weapon, so you will see some of it, but at the back here you really won't see much of it. So this is a good spot to sort of, you can play around here. So we add some blue here, burnt blue, that's a good color, burnt blue, and then we get some of our orange, and we can just sort of go and make it more green, and that gives it like a nice sort of fly wing, sort of, you know, fly wings, fly eyes, that sort of thing. That's what it looks like to me. To my mind, it's got the same sort of color range in there. Yeah, and then give it a blow. That'll get rid of the bulk of the crap that's hit there. Then you can get an old makeup brush, big one. Just get rid of it all, and there we go. So that is metallic gold. Chuck a couple of very light dustings of. Let's zoom out through the wonders of the iPhone. Oh, that's in. Fuck, how good is he? Uh-oh. Shit. In. There we go. How? I have no idea. Okay, look at that. Gold. Any questions? Leave them down below. Hit me up on Instagram, whatever you want. Okay, bye.